Hey guys, here with my take on a dragon deck. We're going green, red, blue with this one. I've seen a lot of these dragon decks posted before. I'm sure they're better than mine. But hey, after how well some of our decks have been doing lately, maybe this one will do good too. It's won every game when I was testing it. So let's go through and see what we got. Alright, we're running for blue here. We're running 4 copies of Think Twice because if the color blue is in the deck, I'm running Think Twice. Regardless, I don't care what kind of deck it is, I'm Think Twice is going in there. I'm running 3 copies of Guard Gomazoa because 1, it's a flyer, and 2, this deck is slow as shit. So that is generally handy. Alright, we got 2 copies of the Warden of Evos Isle. It's kind of a little bear owl dude, pretty badass there. He's got his wand and whatnot, but important thing here is creature spells with flying you cast cost 1 less to cast. Considering we're running shit like this, that's important. 3 copies of Phantasmal Dragon because, Phantasmal Dragon's the shit. He's a great card, even though, he dies. You look at him, he dies, but you breathe on him. But 5/5 for 4, flying, good card. Running 2 copies of Shock. Usually we would run more, but we are running some other removal, so we're just going to stick with 2 here. Running 2 copies of Anger of the Gods because most of our creatures are big. Well, pretty much all our creatures are big, except for, these 2. And we are a slow deck. And tokens are all the rage right now. Running 2 copies of Bolt of Keranos, which is, 3 kind of a 3 damage shock, and the Scry is important because sometimes we just need another land, or we're getting flooded, or it's just helpful, trust me. Alright, next up we've got now we're getting into the Dragoons. Alright, so we got the Storm Breath Dragon. Y'all know him, y'all love him. Flying, haste, protection from right, get monstrous, deals damage to him with cards in their hand. 4/4 for 5, guy's a beast. This dude is not a dragon, but look at him. He's got his giant ass flail. He's coming out of a volcano. He's a 6/6 for 6. Dude's probably eats dragons. So we're gonna go ahead and run Inferno Titan because he's just awesome. All right, so we're running both copies of Shivan Dragon, which is 5/5 for 6. He can pump. This guy's not great, but it's a dragon. He's big. He's hard to deal with, and we can get him out cheaper, hopefully. Running 2 copies of the Siege Dragon. The Destroying Walls bit doesn't come in handy very often, but it has little baby Anger of the Gods every time he attacks, which is pretty nice. And then the big daddy is the Uvara Hellkite, which, whenever a dragon we control attacks, it makes another dragon, so we have several dragons. It's like Dragon City. It's like that one movie where Matthew McConaughey is jumping out of helicopters and shit. Look, they're attacking the town, and yeah, okay. Running 2 copies of Fog because bitches never see fog coming. They never do. And again, slow deck helps. 4 copies of Cultivate because all our creatures are big. 2 copies of Armillary Sphere because all our creatures are big. And 3 copies of Ground Salt because we're running red and we're running green, and it's one of the best removal cards in the game. So, them the cards, here the land. Running 3 copies of the Bivouac because those are our 3 colors. And then we're running 7 Island, 10 Mountains, 4 Forests. Not running any of the Guild Gates because it's really, because a lot of times, we want, if we're laying that 7th land to get our Siege Dragon down, we don't want it to be a tap land. And we have, in general, we want to be able to play stuff in this deck Like the turn we get the mana. We don't want to be a turn behind because we're already so behind in the first place because all our shit is big. Alright, let's go play some games.